long, but it's a very nice day, actually. Right now, officially 79 degrees at KRLD. Good afternoon, it's 1:11. I'm Mitch Carr, live in the Breitling Energy News Center. The NBA versus Donald Sterling. The Keller School Board against trustee Joe Lynn Hausman. What about the right of free speech? Mazin Sbaiti is on the Ring Central Newsline, an attorney with Steckler, LLP.
Well, I think the first thing to remember is that the First Amendment only guarantees you free speech. It does not guarantee you consequence-free speech. So the Donald Sterling and Ms. Hausman, the Keller ISD commissioner, or board member, I should say, they can say whatever they want. But, you know, these two are stories in contrast. Ms. Hausman's made public comments, whereas Mr. Donald Sterling made private comments that were aired publicly by somebody else. And I think that really is going to distinguish the reactions to these and the potential court cases involving Donald Sterling.
In terms of not having consequence-free speech, we've always, we've long heard the thing about you can't yell fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
There really isn't a fire. So there are consequences. But the NBA has the right as an organization to go after Sterling, even if it is free speech.
Absolutely. The difference is for the NBA is Donald Sterling actually signed a contract that waived some of his free speech. The NBA Constitution is incorporated into the franchise agreement that the Clippers have that Donald Sterling personally signed. And in there are provisions that say, if he does anything that brings his team or the NBA into disrepute, in other words, read between the lines, it looks like it's going to cost the NBA or the other franchises a lot of money, they have the right to censure him or oust him from the NBA as a matter of contract law.
In the case in Keller ISD, they could not force her to resign. They did vote to censure her because their rules, unlike the NBA's, didn't allow them to say you got to go.
Exactly, and so they censure her. And really the beauty about the Keller example is that this is what the First Amendment was really designed to do. She has a First Amendment right to say, give her opinion, and then everybody else has a First Amendment right to say they agree with it or disagree with it. They have a First Amendment right to vote her out of office the next time around. There's a First Amendment right to vote her back into office. And then there's also a right of free association under the First Amendment, which means that people have a right to disassociate themselves from Ms. Hausman or disassociate themselves from Mr. Sterling in the case of the NBA. So this is precisely what the First Amendment was designed to do, is to let private citizens decide what they want to do in reaction to someone else's exercise of free speech.
Mazin Sbaiti from Steckler, LLP, joining us on the KRLD Newsline.